So if you are in this video right now, then this is exciting for you and for me. For me, because I've been studying the oxygen advantage for nearly 10 years now. But after just finishing their advanced level course, I can honestly say that I am very, very happy to be certified. But I'm also very, very happy to be able to bring in some more bang for my buck. So what I've done, I've got some simple notes here, which I want to be able to get with you guys, and I'm going to basically put up here some simple things for us all to be able to go along with. Because a lot of problem with breath work, I feel, is the same problems that I've always had with nutrition. A lot of people see it as woo-woo. A lot of people see it as just these things that these hippies do, a little bit like organic food or digestion. It's just calories in, calories out. But breathing is very, very similar to this. And Patrick Mckeown is an absolute G. And by him going through this with myself and with people for many years, there are scientific papers, actual literature, where we can bring in and say that nasal breathing is not just a fad. It is very much something that can be beneficial to you and to the people you know. So let's get to it. First of all, let's see if you're a mouth breather or a nasal breather. Now, I have some friends that have got half a nose. They've got a problem with their septum. I have friends and people that I know and clients who have a lot of hay fever. And there are many different tools that we can use for each one of these. It does not mean that you can't do it. So what we need to first figure out is, are you a mouth breather? So the way we can tell that, do you wake up in the morning with a dry mouth? So it generally means you've probably been lying on your back. Or has somebody told you you're a big snorer? Because if so, then you're a mouth breather. But don't worry, we can do something about it. Number two, the words nitric oxide. So nitric oxide used to be claimed as unimportant. I think it was 91. Don't test me, I've just gone through the test, but I'm pretty sure it's 91, when nitric oxide was actually recognized. And what's really interesting about nitric oxide in a simple form is that it's an antimicrobial defense. So what it means is basically by breathing through our nose, we've got like this filtration system through our body or through our nasal cavity, and that can calm down all of the bugs, bacteria, and crap going in. So it's super, super helpful. Then CO2. So something that I also think is really important to recognize. This is very much the same as digestion. Now, I've been in the world of nutrition for over a decade, and very much people have always told me, Matt, it's calories in, calories out. And I hate that analogy because it doesn't work. It's a good rough guide, but it doesn't work. And I'll explain that quickly. So if I'm happy and if I'm training regularly, I'm going to be burning more calories. I've got more thermogenesis. And if I can digest my food. But if I'm sad and I overtrain and I'm hormonally imbalanced and I'm not sleeping well and I keep reducing calories, thus meaning my digestion's out of whack, thus meaning I'm probably going to get fat or skinny fat and inflamed. Very much the same when it comes to CO2. So CO2 is basically like the key, the door that opens up and lets oxygen into our blood system. Now, there's an imbalance with that, which we're going to go through with some of these exercises, but it's called the Bohr effect. So something that you can just have a little bit more of a read about is something called the Bohr effect, Bohr effect. It's basically an imbalance between your carbon dioxide and your oxygen. Okay, then what we want to try and look at is this comparison between mouth and nose. Now, when we're talking about nasal breathing, and I've done athlete camps, I've done corporate gigs where people have told me that it's complete bollocks. Matt, I've got a blocked nose, I can't do it. Cool, we just got to work around that. We've got to figure that out, because if you can go back to centuries ago, you know, us as a species, we are nasal breathers. This was all meant for breathing in and out, and this was meant for food and to be able to talk. So, how do we put one thing in place that can help us, to give us some sort of tangible thing to make sure that actually this is going to help us. Okay, so the best thing you can do is take your resting heart rate, which you can do. You just put on a stopwatch and put your fingers to your neck. You can easily count the amount of heartbeats that you have within 1 minute. Or you can have a wearable. If you get a wearable, then you can monitor your HRV, your heart rate variability. So what that's going to do is going to give you a piece of data from an actual metric, which you can then base your decisions on. So if it's going to work, I would test it for 4 to 6 weeks. And if your resting heart rate goes down and your heart rate variability goes up, that is life. And that's a very good thing. So if that works, then I'd carry on doing this crazy breathwork stuff. If it doesn't work, please do give me a message and I'll figure it out with you. But how can we also monitor it? So there's something called the BOLT score, the base oxygen level test, which the next video is about. So if this video has intrigued you, please do give me a message or at least start journaling about getting involved in your breathing, because it's super, super important. If anybody's ever heard Patrick talk, then they will know he drills home very much about that we have 3 main functions that we need to do every day. 1 is eat, 2 is hydrate, and number 3 is breathe. But they are not in that order. The most important thing that we need to do is breathe. We cannot go roughly about 2.5 minutes without breathing unless we're trained to do so. We can go about 5 to 7 days without hydration, and then we can go about 30 days without food. So this part of the journey is just as important as the training and the nutrition. And I cannot wait to get into your sleep, into your training, into your digestion, into your mood, everything that goes along with breath work. So follow along for the ride, and thank you very much.